All right. I rewatched the first episode, movie, prologue, whatever you want to call it, of Oshinoko. The entire hour and 20 minutes of it. And I still feel like it was just as crazy. I still feel just as floored and flummoxed as I did when I initially watched it. So I don't really have much to say other than let's get into episode 2 of Oshinoko starting in 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, and we are jumping right in with the OP. Makes sense. I think that makes sense. Okay. Just seems kind of rude to show us I like that. IMO. Okay, we're getting a look at some of these other characters who were, again, kind of teased at the very end of last episode. I feel like I'm still basically starting a new show. I feel like I still have very little idea of what to expect coming into this. Okay, but again, I feel like this is kind of rude, showing me my favorite character from episode 1 that is no longer going to be around. I imagine it's, more or less meant to demonstrate the extent to which her presence is still going to be relevant and impactful to other characters, least of all her children, her reborn children. Also, what is this happening right now? Oh, interesting. Okay. I'm sorry, did that say, are we getting decimals in this out of number? That's not how stats work. Ah, shortcoming, despair. A little quiet. Okay, so Ruby is in fact aiming to be an idol. This was, I think, expected. Okay, creep, let's not. I can get like looking at a cute girl as she walks by, but maybe don't stop and stare after she's already passed you. That's a little meh, IMO. Bro, are we seriously. How much are we planning on recapping? Did I even need to watch last episode? Now that I think about it, that was probably like super shocking for her. Like the doctor, this guy, he at least like knew I was pregnant as a teenager, right? The girl must have been like kind of confused. Kind of like even more confused than one would imagine after being reborn. Oh, geez. Oh, I think that she's well aware of that part, that last part. Good for her. She wants to make the most of her second chance. Good for her. Relatable. Okay, that was one of the big questions I had coming into our time skip. Oh, interesting. I'm surprised they lasted 2 years. Oh no, not internet personalities. Influencers! Don't sit so close to your screen. It's bad for your neck. I honestly, I, I honestly lean forward too much because I'm trying to be close to the mic when I'm recording. Yep. Can't expect lightning to strike twice. Speak of the devil. I wonder, so thus far this episode, we've been very focused on Ruby. I wonder if about halfway through we're going to switch over to Aqua. Ooh, I don't think she got it. Oh, big rip. She made it all the way to the finals, but didn't clear the final hurdle. That sucks. Okay. I kind of like this being the starting point for us. I kind of like that we're not starting from her being, flung into a position of popularity in the spotlight. I want to see some of the struggle of like getting into the industry and stuff. Wait, what? What? Aqua, the fuck? Okay. Okay, and now it seems like we are probably switching over to seeing. Nope, we're still with Ruby. Okay. Ah, well, that was fast. Bro is gonna have his work cut out for him if he's always trying to stop this from happening. Yeah, that doesn't sound sketchy at all. But isn't this dude getting into acting? Like, only her? Did you not also? I know that he went to that director and asked him to raise him, but I don't think he. I didn't think that he meant like actually raise him, like adoption. I figured he was still going to be like, growing up with Ruby. Oh, this dude. Why did you seem excited about that? Oh, a fan. My mom was a big fan. Oh, uh, it doesn't get. Oh my God, what is his plan? Yeah? Managers over there like, dude, we can't afford that. Yeah, that all tracks. Oh, uh-oh. Scandalous. Spill the tea. Let me hear the deets. The drama, let's hear it. Wow, she willingly offered a ton of information that she really shouldn't have. I feel like gossiping like that is a quick way to get yourself blacklisted. Because, like, if one group finds out that you're like that, they're going to be worried about you, like, saying things about their own group and about their talent, etc., etc. I don't know. She's a teenager, though. What are you going to do? Yeah. Bro looks. Oh my God. Like, half the shots we've seen of Aqua since this episode started, dude looks like he's about to go on a spree, if you know what I mean. See? We don't hire idols anymore, but by the way, I'm not hiring someone who badmouths their colleagues. What did I say? By the way, while I haven't worked with talent like this before, like, what we're seeing here in the show, I have managed small businesses several times. Like, I've been very involved in hiring and staffing and firing and such. So, like, it's not hard to spot these things when you've worked in any kind of management at any remotely, like, on any even somewhat successful level. Of course. Ooh. Yeah, I think she knows a thing or two about stalking, unfortunately. Let's go! Let's go, manager. Ah. Oh, jeez. Yeah, okay, bud. I have never seen somebody stand in a room so loudly. Okay, I didn't say, Mr. I didn't say anything. Bro, is this director living with his mother? My word. What is going on here? Still in middle school? Wait, how old are they now? That's a bold statement. You'll be able to get further as an actual actor, most likely, with your goals. At least I assume he still, got that goal from was a means to an end. Okay, let's rehash that. I did not need to see this haunting shot again. Thank you very much. Okay, yeah, so he does still plan to do this. He does still have this lust for vengeance. It is. Because you'll be on different sets all the time. Whereas if you are someone behind the scenes, you could be stuck on one project for months and months and months. Oh. Bro, you are in middle school and you already gave up on being good at acting? uh, yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking while he was speaking is like decent to good message, but not really coming from someone that I can take seriously saying it, you know? Unfortunately. Oh my word. He probably can't afford to. and it's becoming increasingly common in this day and age with the way the economy is. See, the message doesn't resonate because of who it's coming from. You sound like a pirate. Yeah, well, it's one thing to say that because this guy's like, in his mid 40s and hasn't found success, like maybe what he's saying doesn't hold much weight. It is also like kind of Kasan, please. Precocious here, he still calls him that. um I think, swinging far in the other direction, like as he's coming into or coming into high school now, like he's way too young to be acting like he's already he's already given what he wants to do his best shot. Like you have not exhausted your possibilities at this point. That little note about how he'd previously passed some test to get into a medical school. I was gonna note that it is kind of interesting, I guess, that they started the episode. Ooh, she's the kid from the prodigy child from episode 1. Ruby recognizes her. No, that's still not it. I thought it was a little odd that, interesting, I guess, I don't know, um, that we started the episode with a bit of a flashback and history for for Ruby from her previous life, but didn't get anything like that for Aqua in his life from his life as a doctor. Maybe it's because they felt like they focused on that for enough of the first episode that they didn't feel like it was necessary. I don't know. But yeah, I guess that was it for episode 2. We re-met Kana here at the very end. I think not super surprisingly, I feel like we didn't cover a lot in this episode. But I think that's just because of how much was set up in the first episode, because of how much happened in the first episode, that like now coming into this episode, which is, your actual standard 20 some minute episode instead of an hour and 20 some minutes, I think it's kind of expected to be like, oh, this felt like we got a lot less content. But even with that being said, again, it was, I think, a little, yeah, I think this I am kind of comfortable saying it feels a little odd that we spent what felt like, maybe it was only half the episode, but it felt like most of the episode focused on Ruby and what she's up to and what she's doing, when it felt like the more primary concern going into this episode was kind of, in my mind, I think expected to be focusing on like, hey, Aqua's got this plan to find and kill his father. Like, how's that been going? But we got relatively little of that. We got more of Aqua being like serving as a hefty roadblock and obstacle to Ruby becoming an idol, which like I understand it, but also this dude's trying to balance a lot of plates right now. No, he has got this half-hearted, kind of already given up on plan of being an actor. Now he's doing production work for this basically deadbeat director, for I guess connections. I don't know. Like I don't feel like I don't actually even see like why he's still doing things for this director. I feel like there's no way that he's getting meaningful connections out of this relationship if this guy has been so small time and unsuccessful that he's still living with his mother. Um, so just like from the practical aspect of it, like are you really learning more with this director than you could be spending your time elsewhere? Seems kind of I'm kind of skeptical of that notion. Um, and then he's got his whole I I have no idea how much time he spends on this on the regular, but we saw in this episode a decent amount of time and energy spent towards preventing Ruby from becoming an idol and like keeping her out of that kind of life, which now has changed to trying to, I guess, support her through Strawberry Production. So like, and then of course, he's a student, which again, given memories and experience from his previous life as a doctor, I'm sure that breezing through school is no trouble. But like, yeah, I feel like there's a lot potentially going on with him that we just didn't really address much of. Like I feel like I don't know. I feel like it was just a little weird to maybe maybe they showed us what was going on with Ruby as a means of like highlighting how busy Aqua is managing his relationships in a sense beyond his revenge plan from last episode. I don't know. It was weird. It was it was kind of a weird. This episode felt weirdly focused, I guess. It's not that I disliked seeing that stuff, by the way. I really liked I did really like seeing that stuff with Ruby. It just again it felt kind of weird to see that stuff immediately coming off of the back of episode 1, I think. I personally, maybe it's just because of like where my interests with the series lies after where we ended last episode. Maybe it's just because of that, but like I think I would have preferred to see stuff with Aqua and then watch that lead into stuff with Ruby. I don't know. But now they've moved on to now and now we've ended this episode seemingly with them now attending this performing arts high school and again reuniting with Kana. I have no idea. I don't know. Again, I expect her to be like a kind of main character in a sense, because of like the OP and because she just seems like a relevant character from having met her as a child and now just again just character design if nothing else. I think she's going to be like a prominent character, but I don't necessarily know like how heavily we're going to be interacting with her, especially in the beginning. So it does it does seem a little it just it feels it just it again it feels a little weird with the like the focus and to an extent I guess the pacing as well of the episode where we went from like these things like the fact that we didn't start with them in this high school, the fact that we kind of like went through some experiences that were like still technically them in middle school and now we're starting or ending this episode rather with them now attending this high school. So yeah, I don't know. I'm still very curious in some of the like premises and points and like perceived plot points of what the show is doing. But yeah, I also do feel like what I have seen, especially this episode, feels a little clunky almost. I don't know. Maybe that's because of maybe episode 1 just set my expectations in a direction that it arguably shouldn't have. Maybe there's something to that in the way that I'm perceiving and kind of processing the second episode, but I don't know. As with episode one, I do intend to rewatch episode two, probably before I move on to episode three. With some shows, I'll watch a couple episodes before I go back and rewatch. Like when I watched Dungeon Meshi, I think I watched the first three episodes before I was like, you know what, let me go back and rewatch and try to pick up on some things. There was also a bit of an odd circumstance with the first few episodes of Dungeon Meshi that I watched, but if you're curious about that, go watch those videos. uh, but yeah, I do intend to rewatch this episode. I don't necessarily know that I'm going to pick up on too much new. Actually, real quick before I end out this video, I want to rewatch specifically the end of the episode because I don't think I fully caught what Kana said when she started talking to them. So like, yeah, Hoshi no Aqua, she's surprised to see him. She has to reiterate who she is to both of them. She's glad to see him again. Because, as we know, she swore like a kind of... She developed her own like rivalry with him. One-sided rivalry. Okay, and she's just shocked that he's in the general studies program and not the performing arts department. Okay, so what? I didn't really miss anything. It was okay. So yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see more of her for sure, and just I guess I guess at this point I should just kind of consider myself along for the ride, and wait to see some of these other characters because I commented on like the various directions and focuses that we could potentially have moving forward in the series at the as part of my kind of wrap up and thoughts for last episode. And one of the things that I commented on was wondering wondering the extent to which character conflicts were going to be like a substantial portion of the series focus. And I think that when the cast of characters is physically so colorful, I'm hoping that they have pretty I'm hoping that they have some pretty well-defined characters and personalities as well, and that we do get some kind of some strong character moments. I'm kind of hoping for some. I think from what we just saw with with this episode, with the way that the kind of again the way that the sort of plot was advanced, I'm hoping that once we move into episode three, either we settle into a more consistent and stable pace, if that makes sense, for the series, and again, and also more of bit better focused because again, I feel like we were a bit unfocused this episode. But I do think that I do think that the series could benefit from spending a lot of time with what are going to be like our major players and like our main cast. So yeah. Anyways, I think I'm rambling a bit, repeating myself and such. So let's just go ahead and end things off here. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And remember to check out other things on the channel if you are so inclined to do so. And until I see you in the next one, take care. Bye-bye.